Education is a powerful tool, but it is not the key to success. If education alone were the key, then the most educated people would be the wealthiest, the most influential, and the most fulfilled. But look around. Some of the most successful people in history were not the most educated. Some never even completed formal education, yet they built empires, transformed industries, and changed the world. Meanwhile, many highly educated individuals remain trapped in frustration, struggling to find purpose, living beneath their potential. Why? Because education by itself is not enough. True success is not measured by degrees, diplomas, or academic achievements. It is measured by purpose, vision, and the ability to apply wisdom. A classroom can give you knowledge, but it cannot give you purpose. A degree can open doors, but it cannot guarantee fulfillment. Many people pursue education without ever discovering their true gift, their unique ability, the thing they were created to do. They become highly trained, but not truly successful. They learn facts, but fail to understand their own potential. Success is not about how much information you accumulate, but about how effectively you apply what you know. There are many who have education but lack vision. They have degrees but no drive. They have knowledge but no wisdom. The world does not reward those who simply know. It rewards those who take what they know and use it to solve problems, add value, and make a difference. The greatest key to success is not education. It is discovering your purpose and developing your gift. Education can refine your skills, but it cannot create your potential. You were born with something inside of you that no school can give you. Your ability to see opportunities, to create, to innovate, to lead, to inspire. These are things that come from within, not from a textbook. If you do not discover your purpose, no amount of education will make you successful. The mistake many make is assuming that success is locked behind a certificate, a diploma, or a degree. They chase after titles, expecting them to produce fulfillment. But real success comes when you align your gifts with your purpose. The world does not pay you for what you know. It pays you for what you can do with what you know. Knowledge without application is wasted potential. Do not misunderstand. Education is valuable. It can provide you with skills, opportunities, and connections. But it is only a tool, not the destination. If you rely only on education and neglect your purpose, you will always feel unfulfilled. You must go beyond education and seek wisdom. You must pursue knowledge, but also cultivate understanding. You must refine your skills, but also sharpen your vision. Your success will not come from a certificate hanging on a wall. It will come from the value you create, the problems you solve, and the difference you make. Do not limit yourself to what a classroom can offer. Expand your mind, develop your gifts, and use your knowledge to fulfill your purpose. That is the true key to success. If education alone were the key to success, then every person with a degree would be wealthy, fulfilled, and living their dreams. But look around. How many highly educated individuals are still struggling to make ends meet? How many graduates are stuck in jobs they hate, living with frustration and uncertainty? Meanwhile, some of the most influential, prosperous, and impactful people in history never completed their formal education. This is because success is not determined by how much schooling you have. It is determined by how well you understand and maximize your potential. Education is important, but it is only a tool, not the guarantee of success. A degree may open doors, but it does not give you the wisdom, discipline, or vision needed to walk through them. Many people graduate with knowledge, but they lack the ability to apply it in a way that creates real value. Some spend years chasing after more certificates, thinking that another qualification will be the missing piece, yet they remain stuck in the same place. This is because success is not about accumulating credentials. It is about discovering your purpose, developing your skills, and using them effectively. The greatest tragedy is when people believe that their success is locked behind a diploma. They wait for opportunities to come simply because they completed a course, instead of actively creating opportunities by using their gifts. Education can inform you, but it cannot transform. True success comes when you combine knowledge with action, vision, and purpose. Those who rely solely on education without understanding the deeper principles of success often find themselves frustrated, watching others with less education but more drive and clarity surpass them in life. You must change your mindset. Education is a great advantage, but it is not the key that unlocks success. It is simply a resource that you must use wisely. If you want to be successful, you must go beyond just learning. You must apply, innovate, and add value. You must discover what makes you unique, what problems you can solve, and how you can make a difference. When you do that, you will realize that success is not found in a classroom. It is found in the boldness to pursue your purpose with or without a degree. Purpose is the foundation of true success. Without purpose, education is just information without direction. The most dangerous thing in life is not ignorance, it is knowledge without purpose. Many people spend years in school collecting degrees and qualifications, yet they still feel lost. Why? Because education can train your mind, but it cannot give you vision. It can develop your skills, but it cannot tell you why you were born. It can teach you how to do something, but it cannot reveal what you were created to do. Purpose is the key that unlocks success. It is the reason why you exist, the assignment you were sent to fulfill. No matter how much education you acquire, if you do not understand your purpose, you will misuse your knowledge. That is why so many educated people feel frustrated. They have degrees but no direction. They have knowledge but no fulfillment. They are trained to work jobs, but they were never taught how to discover their true calling. Success is not about how much you know, but about how well you align your knowledge with your purpose. When you find your purpose, you will know what kind of education you truly need. You will not waste time chasing degrees that do not serve your destiny. You will not seek education just for status, but for empowerment. Purpose gives meaning to knowledge. It turns learning into a tool for fulfilling your assignment rather than a requirement to fit into a system. Look at the people who have made a difference in the world. Many of them were not the most educated, but they were the most purpose-driven. They knew why they were born and they pursued it relentlessly. That is what sets apart those who succeed from those who simply exist. Education without purpose is like a ship without a compass. It may be moving, but it has no direction. But when you discover your purpose, your life gains focus and success becomes inevitable. Knowledge is powerful, but it is only potential power. It becomes valuable only when it is applied. The world does not reward people simply for what they know. It rewards those who take what they know and use it to create solutions, bring change, and add value. There are many people with vast knowledge, degrees, and qualifications, yet they remain stuck in the same place. Why? Because they have not learned how to turn knowledge into action. Too often, people believe that having an education automatically guarantees them success. They assume that because they have acquired information, opportunities will come knocking at their door. But the truth is, knowledge without action is wasted potential. Education may give you the tools, but it is up to you to use them. A degree may get you a job, but it is your ability to solve problems, think creatively, and add value that will elevate you to true success. History is filled with examples of people who had little formal education, but changed the world through applied wisdom. They understood that success does not come from just knowing, it comes from doing. It comes from taking risks, learning from failure, and turning ideas into reality. On the other hand, there are many highly educated individuals who remain stagnant because they are waiting for their knowledge alone to bring them success. But knowledge that is never used is no different from ignorance. The difference between those who succeed and those who do not is not the amount of education they have, but the ability to act on what they know. Success requires courage, initiative, and persistence. It requires taking what you have learned and using it to make an impact. Do not just accumulate knowledge, apply it. Do not just seek education, seek transformation. The world is not looking for people who can recite facts. It is looking for people who can take knowledge and turn it into something meaningful. Opportunities do not come to those who wait. They come to those who create them. Many people believe that once they complete their education, success will automatically follow. They assume that a degree is a ticket to a great future, that opportunities will simply appear because they have the right qualifications. But life does not work that way. Success is not about what is handed to you, it is about what you make happen. The world does not reward passive learners. It rewards those who take initiative. Many graduates sit and wait for a job, believing that their education entitles them to a position. But entitlement never leads to success. The most successful people in the world did not sit around waiting for someone to recognize them. They stepped out, took risks, and created their own paths. They saw gaps in the world and filled them. They understood that opportunities are not given, they are made. Education can give you knowledge, but it cannot give you the mindset of a creator. It cannot teach you how to recognize the right moment to step out. It cannot train you to be bold enough to take a risk. If you want to be successful, you must go beyond what you have learned in the classroom and develop the ability to create opportunities where none seem to exist. Those who rely solely on their education will always be at the mercy of those who use their creativity, resourcefulness, and vision to shape their own future. There are people with fewer qualifications than you who are thriving, not because they had more education, but because they took action. They refused to wait for permission to succeed. They understood that success is not about waiting for a door to open. It is about building a door where there isn't one. If you want to rise above the crowd, you must stop depending only on what you have been taught and start using your gift to create something valuable. The world is not looking for people who are just educated. It is looking for people who can bring solutions, take initiative, and turn ideas into reality. Hard work and diligence will always outshine mere credentials. Many people believe that because they have a degree or a certificate, they have already qualified for success. They assume that education alone will carry them to the top. But the truth is, success is not guaranteed by what you have learned. It is determined by what you do with what you have learned. Hard work, persistence, and discipline will take you further than any degree ever could. The world is filled with highly educated individuals who struggle to make progress, while those with less education but greater determination continue to rise. Why? Because success is not handed to those who simply know. It is given to those who work. Education might open a door, but only character and effort will keep that door open. Many people graduate and expect immediate success, yet they refuse to put in the work required to achieve greatness. They wait for opportunities instead of creating them. They expect recognition before they have proven their value. Success demands more than knowledge. It demands action, perseverance, and resilience. You can have all the education in the world, but if you are not willing to work diligently, push through obstacles, and remain steadfast in your vision, you will not see the results you desire. Hard work refines your potential, shapes your character, and builds the discipline necessary to sustain success. The most successful people are not always the smartest or the most educated, but they are always the most diligent. They wake up early, they stay focused, and they refuse to quit when things get tough. They understand that success is not about how much you know, but about how much effort you are willing to invest in your dreams. If you want to achieve greatness, do not rely on education alone. Commit yourself to relentless hard work, persistence, and unwavering dedication. Success is not about how much you know. It is about how well you can adapt, grow, and seize the moment. Many people assume that once they have completed their education, they have all they need to succeed. They believe that their degree is a final destination rather than the beginning of a greater journey. But the truth is, the world is constantly changing, and those who cannot adapt will be left behind no matter how educated they are. History has shown that the most successful people are not necessarily those with the most formal education, but those who have mastered the ability to learn, unlearn, and relearn. They understand that success is not a result of what you learned years ago, but how well you can adjust to the present and prepare for the future. The greatest opportunities in life do not come to those who hold on to outdated knowledge. They come to those who are willing to evolve, innovate, and think beyond what they were taught. Many people with impressive qualifications find themselves struggling in a world that no longer values what they studied because they failed to keep growing. Knowledge that is not updated becomes irrelevant. Success does not belong to those who simply hold a degree. It belongs to those who are willing to expand their minds, think creatively, and adapt to new circumstances. The most successful individuals in the world are lifelong learners. They do not limit themselves to what they were taught in school. They seek new knowledge, develop new skills, and embrace change. They refuse to be trapped by the past and are always looking for new ways to improve. If you want to rise above the rest, do not depend solely on what you have learned. Be willing to grow, change, and position yourself for the future. Your value is not determined by a certificate or a title. It is defined by the unique gifts and purpose placed inside of you. Too many people tie their self-worth to their level of education, believing that if they do not have a degree, they are somehow less valuable. But education is not the source of your potential. Your potential comes from within. The greatest contributors to history were not always the most educated, but they were people who discovered their true purpose and walk in it with confidence. A degree may give you credentials, but it does not define your identity. The world is filled with people who have degrees but still feel empty and lost because they have never tapped into their true calling. Real success comes when you recognize that you are more than what a piece of paper says about you. It is not about how many certificates you have. It is about how well you use the gifts inside of you to create impact. People who understand their worth do not limit themselves to what they studied in school. They do not wait for someone to validate them. They step boldly into their destiny. They realize that their potential is too great to be confined to a classroom. They develop their skills, sharpen their talents, and refuse to let anyone or anything dictate their worth. The world does not reward education alone. It rewards people who bring value. You are not successful because of the degree you hold. You are successful because of the difference you make. If you want to rise above the ordinary, stop measuring yourself by academic achievements and start embracing the power of your own unique identity. Find your purpose, develop your gifts, and walk boldly in the greatness you were born for. The key to true success is not found in books or classrooms alone. It is found in a vision that is bigger than yourself. Education can give you knowledge, but only vision can give you purpose. Many people spend years in school accumulating information, yet they still feel lost in life because they never discovered their vision. Without vision, knowledge is directionless. Without vision, even the most educated person will struggle to find meaning and fulfillment. Greatness is not birthed from education alone. It is birthed from a clear sense of purpose. The most successful people in the world are not just those who studied hard, but those who had a vision and pursued it relentlessly. They did not allow a degree to define them, and they did not wait for permission to succeed. They understood that education is a tool, but vision is the engine that drives true success. People without vision often find themselves trapped in careers they do not love, doing things that do not fulfill them. They followed the system, got their degrees, but never stopped to ask themselves, why am I here? Success does not come from following a script. It comes from discovering your divine assignment and committing to it with everything you have. Vision gives meaning to your education. Vision gives purpose to your knowledge. Vision turns information into transformation. A person with vision will always outlast and outperform those who rely on education alone. If you want to rise above the rest, do not just seek degrees, seek purpose. Do not just gather information, gather revelation. When you have vision, no limitation, no obstacle, and no setback can stop you from walking into your destiny. Success is not defined by how many degrees you have, but by how well you fulfill the purpose for which you were created. Education is a valuable tool, but it is not the master key to success. The world is filled with people who have credentials but lack direction, knowledge but no vision, and education but no purpose. True success is not about what you have studied. It is about what you have discovered within yourself. Do not limit yourself to what the system tells you is possible. Do not let a certificate define your value. Rise above the mindset that says success is only for the educated, and embrace the truth that success belongs to those who have vision, purpose, and the determination to pursue it. Some of the greatest innovators, leaders, and world changers were not shaped by formal education, but by a burning passion to solve problems, create impact, and live out their God-given assignment. The world is waiting for what is inside of you. Do not let the absence of a degree stop you from stepping into your destiny. Develop your skills, sharpen your gifts, build your character, and pursue wisdom beyond the classroom. Education may open doors, but purpose and vision will determine how far you go. Success is not found in a certificate. It is found in the courage to become everything you were created